And then once I saw this high ticket business, I thought, well, I could invest in this, it's going to be mine. It's no one else's. It's no family business. It's nothing like that. This is mine. And then I could learn and earn an income as I went along. So when this opportunity came up, I was just like, this is no brainer.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I am super pumped and excited to be interviewing Sarita on our next client success interview today. She's been absolutely killing it in her business and transforming her life across the board. And we're so excited to hear from you, Sarita. How are you doing today down under in beautiful, sunny Australia?
I'm very well. Thank you, Balazs. Early start, but good to jump up and chat with you this morning. So thank you for having me.
Amazing. Yeah, it's 7 a.m. for you tomorrow. So you're living in the future. How is it in the future? Should we all be excited for what the future has in store for us?
Yep, it's a beautiful day over here this morning. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, well, let's dive right into it here. So you recently had your first 5-figure month, and I'm super excited for you. Congratulations on that in January. But let's rewind a little bit for everybody who may not have heard your story before. Walk us back to like your old life before you started working online, and what did you do? And tell us a little bit about your backstory.
Yep, sure. So I have grown up on the land all my life. Born and bred on a cattle station in Western Queensland, and have worked chasing cows all the time, riding horses, doing the hard work. And my husband and I, got married in about 2008. And we've been working and living on the land and had 2 boys. And then in 2018, my husband had a really bad motorbike accident, and it was at a job with my family. And it was our last day there at working. We'd sort of gone into it for love, for the family to take over the business, and it didn't work out. So we decided to move away. So Aaron went to work this one morning, and I went to a sports carnival with the boys, and they were 7 and 8. And I got a phone call at the sports carnival that Aaron had a bad accident, and had a head injury. And that night I ended up in Brisbane, and I spent 3 months with Aaron in rehab.
Wow.
So as of that day, our life as we knew it just turned upside down. So in that time frame that I was with Aaron in Brisbane at the Royal Brisbane Women's Hospital and in the PA hospital, our 2 little boys were living with their grandparents at the time, and it was we only saw them 3 times in that period, which was really, really, really hard. So having that separation from us was really bad. And also Aaron, like we got him through, through the rehabilitation and stuff like that. We did make it through, and the doctors said it's a miracle how he survived, but it really like tore how our family was just ripped apart. And like we had no backup plan. Like all our gear was half packed because we're going to the next job, and then we sort of had to get off the place where we were. So Aaron was still connected to a life support machine, and people were moving all our animals and all our gear and everything, and took all our belongings. So we were out on our ass with nothing, you could say. And was a point for me, like, what am I going to do for the future? I've got 2 little boys. My husband couldn't work. We eventually got to the place where we were supposed to be working, but we were 100 kilometers from the nearest town. Like, I still had to, you know, look after the kids and be there for Aaron too. And I couldn't get a job. We had too much savings I couldn't even get a carer's pension. So we were like living on $640 a week. So it was not fun times. And we just had nowhere to go. So fast forward to sort of 2019, 18, Aaron did get a job, but I was unemployed. So I thought I'd get a town. We moved closer to a town, so I thought I'd get a job in town, and I was turned down all the time because I never had any experience. So I was frustrated that why won't somebody give me a go? I want to work. I want to, you know, I want to do it. Show me how to do it. And they just wouldn't do it. So when I tried to go into sewing and do stuff to make a few bucks, and it wasn't working. Nothing was working. And then once I saw this high ticket business, I thought, well, I could invest in this, it's going to be mine. It's no one else's. It's no family business. It's nothing like that. This is mine. And then I could learn and earn an income as I went along. So when this opportunity came up, I was just like, this is no brainer. And I said to Aaron, our life as a day of going down, building a herd and having that cattle station and stuff is all on the back burner now. We need to look elsewhere. So this is when the high ticket affiliate business come into line. I was like, wow, this is just mind blowing at what could happen. So it's been a ride.
Wow. That is a wild story. I didn't even realize a tiny, tiny little fraction of what you've been through. I mean, I'm sure you left out so much of the hardship and the struggle and all that. And of course, the love that kept your family together, which I commend you for, because I believe that you held it together during all the difficult times. And so you're an incredible woman, incredible wife, incredible mom, and now also a successful high ticket business owner. That's all yours. And you're going to continue to grow that and, you know, pass that legacy on to your children as you continue to build it. So I just want to start off by saying I'm so proud of you, and way to overcome so much adversity, right? When I hear stories like yours, it always just reminds me of the people out there that are making excuses for not starting one of these businesses, and they have a fraction of the stuff that you had to overcome. And it just kind of gives me a bit of a head shake, like, come on, man. But you know what? You had a really powerful reason why, and you made it happen. So you got started, you said, in your business around the 2019. Is that correct?
It was about July 2020. It was in amongst the COVID. But I was all in for this. So
amazing. So it's been now almost 3 years, I guess. And walk us through. So you were having trouble getting employed, and people weren't giving you a chance to learn, and you had the willingness and the drive to do a good job, and people just weren't giving you an opportunity. So you got this one because you created it for yourself. You invested on your own terms and made it happen. What was the learning curve like with your business initially? Did you find it hard? Did you find it pretty straightforward? Or talk to us about the first few months or first 6 months.
Yeah, sure. It was absolutely mind-blowing because I've come from no experience, chasing cows, riding horses, nothing. So to learn about Facebook ads and pixels and content and personal branding and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, I don't know any of this. So I spent most of the time when the boys went off to school and I was at home, I'd spend 6 hours a day learning all the trainings. I'd rewatch them and implement them and rewatch them and I'd just did everything I could because it was all there in front of me. So I knew that the only thing that would stop me was me. So I decided to just go all in and did whatever it took. And I gave myself 12 months when I started. I was like, right, I'll give myself 12 months, and if I don't do anything, then that's it. So yeah, I was 6 weeks in, I think, and I had sales coming in, 3 or 4 sales come in. So I was like, wow, like this is pretty cool. So yeah, it was just, yeah, learning the tools, and then just implementing them. So I was all in from the start.
That's so powerful. And you touched on something that I always look for when I ask people, how did it go in the beginning, and the mindset that you had around it and so on. And you specifically said, like, it was right here in front of me, and the only person that was going to stop me was me. And I feel like that's such a simple concept, but it's so powerful, because when you provide people with the tools and the training, and it's so accessible and it's right there in front of you, the completion rate for like an online course, online program, or an education platform of these things is so low. It's actually shockingly low, where it's right there and you just got to do it, and you just got to prioritize it and put it in the schedule and whatnot. And people just don't. And the other thing that you touched on too, which you went over it really quickly, but I'm just going to highlight it for a second for everybody who's listening, is that people sometimes, when they don't know, right? Like in your case, you came from a completely different world of cattle and ranching and cowboys and all the things, which is a something like I wouldn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like if I went there, I'd be completely lost. And you're like an expert on that. And you came over here, and rather than being intimidated or just making excuses or saying, I don't understand this is never going to work for me. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too this. I'm too that. I'm too much of a cowboy. I'm too much of a country woman, or any of those types of things you could have said. You just said, nah, I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep implementing. I'm all in. And I also like that you gave yourself 12 months, because it's almost like the 12 months is the fuel behind the action, right? It's like, I got 12 months, the clock is ticking, I got to make something happen. But then also at the end of the 12 months, you get to like renew your lease, because you can reassess and go, all right, well, I've made some sales, I've made some progress. A year ago, I didn't know anything. Now I know some things. So let's renew this for 12 more months and 12 more months. And sometimes we need to play these games with ourselves of something that's tangible, a bit of a deadline, a little bit of pressure, but we always have the ability to pivot and give us a little bit more time, because we are proud of ourselves for the progress we did make in that first year. So you said it so casually, but I think sometimes people listening is like, that's not normal. It's not typical. It's not average. And so deep down, you had the work ethic, the belief in yourself, and the right approach to something so foreign and so new, and you just embraced it, and you said, you know what, we're just not good at stuff when we're first learning about it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And then you still got some sales in your first month or so, which is also amazing. And it just goes to show you that your why was really strong. And I'm sure that the people you sold to could feel that, like you were breaking through this hard, difficult past of yours, and taking matters into your own hands. So super proud of you. So after that happened, how long were you in the business before you came across my mentorship, and where were you sort of at that point where you felt like you might need additional support, or I could help you get to the next level? Like, what was going on in your business at that point?
Well, I sort of got to a point in like that 12, I'm trying to think what year it was. But I got started in the mentorship in September 22. So it must have been like the start of 2022. I just sort of got to a rank, and I was like, oh my God, this is like, I'm just pushing a big old boulder up a hill, and I don't know whether I want to keep doing this. I'd sort of just, got to a point where I was like, ugh. So I got in and done a 90-day sprint pretty early on in last year, and then we just sort of, our team was in a sprint too, so it was sort of momentum, and we were just going and going and going. And I was actually last night watching a small webinar I did last year, and I was like, oh my God, I've grown so much since then. So it's nearly 12 months since I did that. So yeah, I was all year, I changed my attitude to it and said, like, everything's easy. This is working. And if it takes you an extra, year or 12 months to get to that, the big stuff, then that's fine. Like, just keep going at it. So yeah, I did a 90-day sprint, and then I got some ads running again because I tried doing some ads and then it wasn't working. So I had a break off them, and then I come across the Diamond Life mentoring group, and I was like, well, they say surround yourself with the people that you want to be like, and that's why I sort of just was like, I'm going to invest into this. Business has given me so much more than just an income, like my growth and my belief in myself, and like my family around me totally agree. But that's why I thought, well, investing into this is only going to, into the mentorship, is only going to give back to me, give me more than to what I need. So yeah, I dived into that and I once again, I was just like, well, it's all here for me. And like, I just, and like, I've invested a bit of money, or a lot of money it was, to do it with you. But I was like, well, I want to learn off Balazs because he's been where I was before he started. So, I mean, yeah, I just wanted to hang out with you more, I think. And so every couple of weeks, it's pretty cool to get on a call. So yeah,
we hang out every couple of weeks. That's great. We even had breakfast in Australia together. That was pretty sweet, right?
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool.
So, all right. So you got in, and once again, you basically have this attitude that I think is really powerful. And you said that you developed that since starting your online business. Like, you are more positive, and you were looking at the bright side, and you were encouraging yourself. You're like, I'm growing, I'm improving, I should keep going. Why be so hard on me? It's easy, and it takes time. Everything amazing takes time, right? And most of us, we overestimate what we can accomplish in a year and fall short and get really discouraged, but we underestimate what we can create in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And we just live in such a fast-paced, instant gratification society that people aren't patient enough to build something really powerful that takes time. And you saw that. You're like, okay, this is the next thing and the next thing. So you got involved with your mentorship with myself around that point. And talk to us about the initial impression that you had. You said you invested a lot of money, and at what point did you feel like it was a good decision and you made the right call and you were growing and you got a return on your investment? Like, how long did that take for you to feel good about your decision?
As soon as I had the money there from sales that I'd made before. So I was like, just invest it, don't pay it off, don't do that, put it all in there straight away, because what you put into it is what you're going to get back. So I dived in about September, I think, and then in October I made 8.5 grand. So like, pretty much, like, I gave a couple of grand away, or not away, but I invested that into me. And it come back tenfold. So I was like,
that's pretty powerful. Yeah, nice. That's so exciting.
And I've been watching you for a few years. So, and it's true, like, investing, the business is giving. So invest back into yourself and stuff like that. So I think
amazing.
It's powerful.
And what were some of the first things that you learned, either on the coaching calls or through the actual main curriculum, that helped you adjust some things in your business or your personal life to get you that result literally the next month after getting started? What do you think you adjusted or changed that helped you get that 8.5K month in October?
It was probably more scheduling, like get back into prioritizing certain things about my business, because I'm sort of we still work on a farm now. My husband is actually a manager of about 40,000 acres here in about 6 places. So
wow, that's a lot.
He's come full circle, like, to where we are now. So like we're sort of living our dream life, but it's just not ours. It belongs to somebody else. So I still help on the farm and stuff like that. So having that schedule that I need to have time for the business too, and then have time to help Aaron and stuff like that. So having certain schedules set was a big thing for me. Not just throwing stuff everywhere. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes people are in a reactive state to all their responsibilities, obligations, and they're like, it's constantly reacting as opposed to like set schedule. This is what I'm focused here. I'm present here. I'm making it happen here. So that's massive. And so you had an 8.5K month back then, and it's been a few months, obviously, since then. What has been some of the other changes that you've learned inside of the mentorship or the coaching calls that allowed you to have your first 5-figure month just recently also?
Probably just getting back more into Facebook ads and stuff. So in December, I was hacked twice in one day, and then I got it all back. And they had conversations with like 4,000 friends on my messenger. So
Wow.
I had, and then all of a sudden my business page was completely gone, disappeared. Don't know whatever happened to it. So I had to start again. So going back through and starting over again and really focusing on Facebook ads and building that, and like talking to you on the calls, and hearing what other people are, because sometimes like you might be thinking of that, and then hearing other people's stories on your calls is really good, because you think, oh, well, I could take that and use that to do different things. So I've been using like lead magnets and stuff like that now. I've in the process of building a website and having some email automation and stuff like that happening. So my business is shifting big time, all for the better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited about doing that. So yeah.
That's super amazing. I'm so proud of you. For anybody who might be watching this replay or on here live with us right now, who is maybe in a place in their business where they were feeling like yourself, pushing a boulder up the hill, they don't want to give up, they don't want to quit, but they do need some additional help or some support. What would you have to say to somebody who's on the fence of not sure if like mentorship with myself is a good move? What would you have to say to them in terms of making that decision and taking the next step?
I think just like, it is a business, it is your business, and having somebody in your corner to help you, and somebody that's been there before you have walked the walk. So having that is great. And like being having that's what I love about the whole business and the community, is that everybody wants you to win, and we don't want to leave anyone behind. So having that coach and the mentoring group there to support you all the way is amazing, is really, really uplifting and great to have. Like, yeah, I love just having those people there with me.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm so pumped and excited for you to continue to automate a lot of the business side so you can have more time for your family, other things that you're passionate about, continue to grow your income. And I know that you're going to just have a massive 2023 because you've laid the groundwork. You have the best attitude. You have a really inspiring comeback story with some of the unfortunate things that happened to you and your family in the past. But it sounds like you've turned things around and you're in a really good place now moving forward. And I'm so happy for you. So thanks for coming out here with us and sharing your story and sharing your wins. We're super proud of you here at the Diamond Life team. And is there any final thoughts that you wanted to share before we conclude this amazing interview?
I'd just like to thank you for all your help that you've given me, and you'll be able to help thousands of others. So jump into the Diamond Life. It's great.
Thanks so
Really
much,
good.
Sarita. And we'll see you on the Accelerator group coaching call here in a little bit. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for coming out here today. Have an
Thanks.
awesome rest of your day.
Thanks, Balazs.
Bye-bye.